I think this coaster might be the biggest B&M invert ever in the world. I'm not even kidding. This thing is a monster. Welcome to another review, guys. This is my second review. Today we're going to be reviewing Alpengeist at Busch Gardens. Wow, this thing's a monster. I gotta be honest, this thing is so big. I did not expect that. When I was watching POVs, I thought this thing was just a regular B&M invert until I rode it. This thing is insane. Wow, just wow. What a cool ride. It's really good. I'm going to get into the experience in a little bit, but let's just talk about how this ride is. So it's 197 feet tall. It is a monster. I do not know why Busch Gardens didn't make it a hypercoaster. I don't know why they didn't. But, yeah, this thing's pretty good, I got to say. It's a really nice, fun experience. It's very intense. I don't know. Well, let's just get into the ride experience. So, this is some off-road footage by Coaster Force, by the way, subscribe to him. So, you climb up your 197-foot tall lift hill. Don't know why it's a hyper. And instead of going down your, typical B&M invert drop, like a 180-degree turn, you actually go through a 270, as you can see in this video. It's 270 degrees, monstrous, 197 feet, and you go into this giant implement. This thing's huge. And then you go into a vertical loop, which gives you no hang time. It's a really intense loop. You zoom through the tents or sheds and whatever and go into a cobra roll. Now, this element really isn't that good. You do bang your head a lot on this ride, on this cobra roll, unfortunately. So it's not the great of elements. Then you go through, you zoom by the tents and go to this mid-course brake run, which is very intense. I will tell you about that in a minute. Dive down under another shed and go into a 0G roll. You actually do get some pretty good hang time. It's not that intense, this 0G roll. And you go into a corkscrew, and then at the final turn, it's just a really forceful, not so forceful helix. It's very slow, has pacing issues at the end. So anyways, so that's the ride experience. It's a pretty good ride. I do have a couple complaints. So obviously the cobra roll isn't really that good. Cobra rolls really hurts. I would recommend keeping your head on the right side of the restraint because you will bang your head pretty hard if you don't. Now let's just talk about this mid-course brake run. So this mid-course brake run, I don't know if you guys have ridden Raptor. So if anyone who's watching this has ridden Raptor, Raptor's mid-course brake run is really fast and you get jerked into it. So imagine Raptor's mid-course brake run on probably scale 2. Imagine it twice the time, twice the jerk, I guess. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. So this mid-course brake run is so insane. You bang your head so bad, but it's not like a bad pain. It's kind of just like it's so fast you don't even know what happens. That's the only really thing that I don't like about this ride that hurts. But one thing I do have a complaint is the maintenance. The maintenance really isn't that good. This ride is breaking down so much. It broke down 3 times in one day. I was going on to ride it. I was next in line, and the ride broke down. And then I came back after going to ride Griffin, and I came back, and then it broke down again right when I got on it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to wait it out. And I just sat there, and they opened it 10 minutes later, and I finally got a ride on Alpengeist. And I have to say, it was definitely worth it. Another thing to note is that the inversions are so packed together. They're just one inversion after another. It's implement, loop, cobra roll, 0G roll, corkscrew, done. It is so fast. This thing's so fast. I really didn't realize how big it was until I rode it. Do not judge a roller coaster by its POV. That's one thing I have to say. But, yeah, overall, this is a really forceful and intense ride. It's probably the most intense B&M invert I've ridden, but it's not my favorite. My favorite's Raptor at Cedar Point. That's definitely my favorite. But this is a pretty good ride. So, I do have to say, though, the theming's pretty good. The theming's actually really good. It's themed to the Swiss Alps, obviously. I think it's in the Switzerland section. I don't really know, but I'm going to say it is because it's themed to the Swiss Alps. That's why it's called Alpengeist. And it's got some pretty cool theming. Obviously, the track is themed way. Now, one thing I actually love about this roller coaster is the near misses. You get so many near misses on this roller coaster. Flying by those trees at, 70, 80 miles an hour, or however fast this thing is. Flying by the trees. It is so much fun. You feel like you could reach your hand out and touch them. And then also the sheds that they dive through. It is so close. You really do feel like you're going to get hit. It's really awesome, especially if you're on the end like me. I was on the end. What a great ride for near miss effects. This is probably one of my top 10 near miss effect rides. So for its final score, I think I'm going to have to give this ride a 7 out of 10. It's not the best ride in the world, but it's certainly one of the most intense that I've ridden. I've ridden 98 different roller coasters, and this is probably one of my most intense rides. Probably another top 3 would be like Steel Vengeance and probably Batman Clones. That sounds so stupid, but Batman Clones. B&M inverts, man, they are so intense. I have to say, they are really awesome rides. So I've ridden like 5 or 6 B&M inverts. I'm going to ride one tomorrow, actually, at Afterburn at Carowinds. I'm going there tomorrow. But highly recommend going to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. It doesn't make the trip out there alone worth it. I definitely would say you have to ride Griffin if you go there. But it's a pretty forceful ride. I like the ride. So, final score of a 7. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.